And a Florida teen who stabbed his classmate to death is sentenced to life in prison. One America's Zach Peterson reports.
Mr. Fucci, having entered a plea of guilty to the crime of first-degree murder, I adjudicate you guilty of the premeditated first-degree murder of Tristan Bailey. I sentence you to life in prison.
A judge sentences a teenager to spend the rest of his life behind bars for the extraordinarily heinous murder of a classmate. Aiden Fucci pleaded guilty to killing 13-year-old Tristan Bailey in 2021, stabbing her 114 times and leaving her body in a wooded area. 16-year-old Fucci was tried as an adult and is now being transferred to the Florida State Prison System, where he will enter general population when he turns 18. It was an outcome that offered a little solace to a grieving family.
Aiden Fucci, you have destroyed me. You have destroyed my family. You have destroyed Tristan's friends. You have destroyed the community that we live in.
The family of the slain teen sought the maximum sentence for her killer. The parents and siblings of Tristan Bailey offered emotional testimony at the sentencing hearing in St. Augustine Court this week. Tristan's mother said Fucci is beyond hope, and she wants to see him spend the rest of his life behind bars.
Your Honor, I plead with you. Please consider everything that he has done to our daughter and to our family. Aiden Fucci made a heinous decision on May 9th, 2021, and took the very life that I brought into this world. Please do not for 1 second think that he could be rehabilitated at any point. He is beyond saving.
It was the particularly intimate and cruel nature of the crime that lingered in the court. In May of 2021, Fucci led the young cheerleader into the woods and repeatedly stabbed her with a knife that he nicknamed Poker. It was an act Fucci had been fantasizing about for some time, telling both his girlfriend and best friend of his desire to kill someone just to watch them die. It was a premeditated act that he relished in the moment, as Tristan's sister demonstrated on the stand earlier this week, dropping 114 turquoise stones into a glass jar, one for every time Fucci stabbed her sister. It took her more than 2 full minutes.
Did she cry for my mother? Did she beg you to stop? Did you hear her lungs gargling with blood? Or did you see it in her face when she realized she could no longer breathe due to her collapsed lungs?
Bailey suffered 114 stab wounds in total, 35 to the head and neck, 29 to the back and shoulder, and 6 fatal wounds. The judge remarked that the gruesome autopsy photos in this case were particularly difficult, but it was the 49 defensive wounds that painted the most disturbing picture.
She suffered a painful, horrifying death from someone that she trusted. Her screams were most likely stifled by her own suffocating lungs.
The nature of the crime permitted Fucci to be tried as an adult, who was only 14 years old at the time of the murder. Of all juvenile arrests in 2019, only 7% were violent, and only 1% of those were homicides. So the judge considered the murder to be an outlier that was, quote, shocking to the conscience and required an up-close personal murder that is rare. The judge said the crime was not the result of immaturity, that Fucci understood the risks and consequences of his premeditated actions, saying it's deeply disturbing because he had no real motive.
It was not a crime of passion. It was not a crime that was committed because he felt rejected by her. It was not done in a fit of uncontrollable anger. There was no reason. There was no purpose. It was done for no other reason than to satisfy this defendant's internal desire to feel what it was like to kill someone.
Because of his age, Fucci is eligible for review of the sentence in 25 years. Zach Peterson, One America News.